are alive tonight. Earlier today, I sure wish this was my tone. I sure wish this was my tone earlier today. Because when I tell you that your girl, and this is why I love what Neville Goddard says. He says, if you got to holler, you holler. If you got to stomp, you stomp, but get it out. You do not let those things stay within you. Huh? Because when they stay within and they fester, whoo, child. You don't want to be around someone who festers because the world is full of that already. But the good news is your girl calmed herself after much hollering and deep breathing. I didn't cry. Came close though, but that's my personality. But we made it. We made it. I can look back on this moment and say, what was that telling me about myself? I let somebody tell me who I was. Hmm. And I started to believe them. Oh, snap. See? But that's okay. Come on in, beautiful KZ. Hey, Cyber Itty Bitty. What's wrong with you? Oh, I can't hold you right now. Sorry, sweetness. Anyway, we're all here. The party is ready and bumping. Let's flip over. Let's flip over and listen and soothe ourselves so that we can fall asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled. Now, remember, if there's questions and you want to drop them in the chat, feel free to do so. I will address them at the end. If you don't feel comfortable dropping them in the chat, slide into my DMs and we will get to it. All right? Peace. Freedom for All. Chapter 9 The Annunciation. The use of a friend's voice to impregnate oneself with a desirable state is beautifully told in the story of the Immaculate Conception. It is recorded that God sent an angel to Mary to announce the birth of his son. And the angel said unto her, Thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son. Then said Mary unto the angel, Well, how shall this be, seeing I know not a man? And the angel answered and said unto her, The Holy Spirit shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore, also that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God. I just need a new glass. One, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm getting help with some water. Okay. For with God nothing shall be impossible. This is Luke chapter 1, verse 30 through 37. Hey, Duck. Um, this is the story that has been told for centuries the world over. But man was not told that it was written about himself. So he has failed to see. He has failed to see, to receive the benefit it was intended to give him. The story reveals the method by which the idea or word was made flesh. God, we are told, germinated or begat an idea, a son, without the aid of another. Then he placed his germinal idea in the womb of Mary with the help of an angel who made the announcement to her and impregnated her with the idea. No simpler method was ever recorded of consciousness impregnating itself than is found in the story of the Immaculate Conception. Let me slide in here because today's example is on point. When he says, um, the use of a friend's voice to impregnate one's self with a desirable state. Well, you can use the enemy's voice to impregnate your mind as well, which is what I did today. I just heard them in the back of my mind. Oh, and it made me livid. So you see, imagine, if you will, if you use the voice of a friend to mentally impregnate you, to give you that thing that you ruminate on over and over, that you hear in the back of your mind, because it is only just a matter of hearing. Oh, really? You think you're that? Oh my goodness, I just love you and appreciate you so much. All you're doing is hearing. So that's what you do when you use a friend's or an enemy's voice to mentally impregnate you. So let us carry on. The four characters in this drama of creation are the Father, the Son, Mary, and the angel. I gotta do Mary. The Father, the Son, Mary, and the angel. The Father symbolizes your consciousness. The Son symbolizes your desire. Mary symbolizes your receptive attitude of mind. And the angel symbolizes the method used to make the impregnation. The drama unfolds in this manner. The father begets a son without the aid of another. You define your objective. What do you want? Define your objective. You clarify your desire without the help or suggestion of another. Then the Father selects that angel who is best qualified to bear this message or germinal possibility to Mary. Hmm? Germinal? What do you mean? The principle of gender, to generate an idea, to germinate. Hmm. You select the person in your world who would be sincerely thrilled in witnessing the fulfillment of your desire. You know, you got that friend. Yes. So you select the person in your world who would be sincerely thrilled in witnessing the fulfillment of your desire. One, Mary's birth without original sin. However, Neville seems to have in mind the virgin birth of Jesus. And then Mary learns through the angel that she has already conceived the Son without the aid of man. You assume a receptive attitude of mind, a listening attitude. And imagine you are hearing the voice of the one you have chosen to tell you what you desire to know. Imagine that you hear him tell you that you are and have that which you desire to be and to have. You remain in that receptive state until you feel the thrill of having heard the good and wonderful news. And then, like Mary of the story, you go about your business in secret, telling no one of this wonderful and immaculate self impregnation, confident that in due season you will express the impression. The Father generates the seed or germinal possibility of a son. But in a eugenic impregnation, he does not convey the spermatozoa from himself to the womb. He has it born through another medium. In other words, the physical requires the male and the female, right? Sperm and egg, that's the physical. But the psychological needs an idea and someone to convey the idea. Consciousness desiring is the father generating the seed or idea. A clarified desire is the perfectly formed seed or the only begotten son. This seed is then carried from the father, which is consciousness desiring, to the mother, consciousness of being and having the state desired. This change in consciousness is accomplished by the angel or imaginary voice of a friend telling you that you have already achieved your objective. The use of an angel or friend's voice to make a conscious impression is the shortest, safest, and surest way to be self impregnated. Really? How? With your desire properly defined, you assume an attitude of listening. Imagine you are hearing the voice of a friend, and then make him tell you, imagine he is telling you how lucky and fortunate you are to have fully realized your desire. In this receptive attitude of mind, you are receiving the message of an angel. You are receiving the impression that you are and have that which you desire to be and to have. The emotional thrill of having heard that which you desire to hear is the moment of conception. It is the moment you become self impregnated, the moment you actually feel you are now that or have that which you heretofore but desired to be or to possess. As you emerge from this subjective experience, you, like Mary of the story, will know by your changed attitude of mind that you have conceived a son, that you have fixed a definite subjective state, and will, in a little while, express or objectify that state. This book has been written to show you how to achieve your objectives. Apply the principle expressed herein, and all the inhabitants of earth cannot stop you from realizing your desire. Now, that is the end of Freedom for All. But we're going to start the other book. We'll read a chapter. I wonder what that one is. Prayer, the Art of Believing. Prayer, the Art of Believing is the next book. And this one's from 1945. Oh, prayer. The Art of Believing. Chapter 1. The Law of Reversibility. Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. If you know the cause, you will bring about the effect. If you only know the effect, you will generate a cause. Reversibility, not meaning opposite, but meaning you can use one to bring about the other, backwards and forwards, forwards and backwards. Pray for my soul, more things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. Tennyson. Prayer is an art and it requires practice. The first requirement is a controlled imagination. Parade and vain repetitions are foreign to prayer. Its exercise requires tranquility and peace of mind. Use not vain repetitions, for prayer is done in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. The ceremonies that are customarily used in prayer are mere superstitions and have been invented to give prayer an air of solemnity. Solemnness, drab, yeah? Those who do practice the art of prayer are often ignorant of the law that controls it. Those who do practice the art of prayer are often ignorant of the law that controls it. They attribute the results obtained to the ceremonies and mistake the letter for the spirit. The essence of prayer is faith, but faith must be permeated with understanding to be given that active quality which it does not possess, then standing alone. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. This book is an attempt to reduce the unknown to the known, by pointing out conditions on which prayers are answered and without which they cannot be answered. It defines the conditions governing prayer in laws that are simply a generalization of our observations. Say it again. It defines the conditions governing prayer in laws that are simply a generalization of our observations. The universal law of reversibility is the foundation of which its claims are based. Mechanical motion caused by speech was known for a long time before anyone dreamed of the possibility of an inverse transformation. Well, that is, the reproduction of speech by mechanical motion, the phonograph. For a long time, electricity was produced by friction, without ever a thought that friction in turn could be produced by electricity. Whether or not man succeeds in reversing the transformation of a force, he knows, nevertheless, that all transformations of force are reversible. If heat can produce mechanical motion, so mechanical motion can produce heat. If electricity produces magnetism, magnetism too can develop electric currents. If the voice can cause undulatory currents, undulatory currents, so can such currents reproduce the voice, and so on. Cause and effect, energy and matter, action and reaction are the same and interconvertible. This law is of the highest importance because it enables you to foresee the inverse transformation once the direct transformation is verified. Here's how. It says, this law is of the highest importance because it enables you to foresee the inverse transformation once the direct transformation is verified. How? If you knew how you would feel were you to realize your objective, then inversely, you would know what state you could realize were you to awaken in yourself such a feeling. What did he say? If you knew how you would feel if you had what you wanted, well, then you would know that the state, you could realize that state if you were to awaken the feeling. So he's telling you, if you had this thing, you would feel this way. Thing, feeling a particular way. But what if you now used the feeling? If you use the feeling, you can bring about the thing. Reverse engineer. Does a thing not make you feel? An ice cream cone? Ooh, doesn't that make you feel good? Chocolate, doesn't it make you feel good? Roses, don't they make you feel good? Money in the bank, doesn't that make you feel good? But what if you didn't have those things, but you had the feeling? The feeling, if persisted in, will bring about the thing. Eh? Cause, effect, effect, cause. The injunction to pray, believing that you already possess what you pray for, is based upon a knowledge of the law of inverse transformation. Let's say it again. To pray believing that you already possess what you pray for is based upon a knowledge of the law of inverse transformation. If your realized prayer produces in you a definite feeling or state of consciousness, well, then inversely, that particular feeling or state of consciousness must produce your realized prayer. Because all transformations of force are reversible. You should always assume the feeling of your fulfilled wish. You should awaken within you the feeling that you are and have that which heretofore you desired to be and possess. This is easily done by contemplating the joy that would be yours were your objective and accomplished fact, so that you live and move and have your being in the feeling that your wish is realized. The feeling of the wish fulfilled, if assumed and sustained, must objectify the state that would have created it. This law explains why faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, and why he calleth things that are not seen as though they were, and things that were not seen become seen. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and continue feeling that it is fulfilled until that which you feel objectifies itself. Why? Because when you feel, you bring about a thing. And you have a thing, it brings about a feeling. So you don't have to hope, you have to know the law. If a physical fact can produce a psychological state can produce a physical fact. Say it with me. If a physical fact can produce a psychological state can produce a physical fact. Man, if I was a rapper, I tell you, those are bars. If the effect can be produced by the cause, then inversely, the effect can be produced by the cause, which is A. So if A can be produced by the cause, then inversely, B can be produced by the cause. Cause and effect, cause. I trust this is making sense and you are eager to practice it because I know I sure am. Therefore, I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye have received them and ye shall. Mark 11:24. Let's read chapter 2. Dual nature of consciousness. A clear concept of the dual nature of man's consciousness must be the basis of all true prayer. Consciousness includes a subconscious as well as a conscious part. The infinitely greater part of consciousness lies below the sphere of objective consciousness. The subconscious is the most important part of consciousness. It is the cause of voluntary action. The subconscious is what a man is. The conscious is what a man knows. I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. The conscious and the subconscious are one, but the subconscious is greater than the conscious. Hmm? Well, I of myself can do nothing. The Father within me, he doeth the work. I, objective consciousness of myself, I can do nothing. The Father, the subconscious, he doeth the work. The subconscious is that in which everything is known, in which everything is possible, to which everything goes, from which everything comes, which belongs to all, to which all have access. What we are conscious of is constructed out of what we are not conscious of. Oh, say it again so poetically, Angela. What we are conscious of is constructed out of what we are not conscious of. Not only do our subconscious assumptions influence our behavior, but they also fashion the pattern of our objective experience. They alone have the power to say, let us make man in our image. objective manifestations in our image after our likeness. The whole of creation is asleep within the deep of man and is awakened to objective existence by his subconscious assumptions. Within that blankness, we can sleep there. Hmm. Within that blankness, we call sleep there, is a consciousness in unsleeping vigilance. Whew, the reason why I had to stop there. There is a consciousness in unsleeping vigilance. See, now if you're listening, I don't know if you're listening tonight. I won't call your name. But if you are listening tonight, this is exactly what happened to you that night when the thing fell from the ceiling. Within that blankness we call sleep, there is a consciousness in unsleeping vigilance, which means you were always watched over. That's why you got up within mere moments and moved and you were not injured because of the unsleeping vigilance. Oh, I couldn't have said it better. So let me highlight that. Highlighted. So this is the thing we want to call intuition. Hmm? So within that blankness we call sleep, there is a consciousness in unsleeping vigilance. And while the body sleeps, this unsleeping being releases from the treasure house of eternity the subconscious assumptions of man. Prayer is the key which unlocks the infinite storehouse. Prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Prayer modifies or completely changes our subconscious assumptions, and a change of assumption is a change of expression. The conscious mind reasons inductively from observation, experience, and education. It therefore finds it difficult to believe what the five senses and inductive reason deny. The subconscious reasons deductively and is never concerned with the truth or falsity of the premise, but proceeds on the assumption of the correctness of the premise and objectifies results which are consistent with the premise, as within, so without. This distinction must be clearly seen by all who would master the art of praying. No true grasp of the science of prayer can be really obtained until the laws governing the dual nature of consciousness are understood and the importance of the subconscious realized. Prayer, the art of believing what is denied by the senses, deals almost entirely with the subconscious. Through prayer, the subconscious is suggested into acceptance of the wish fulfilled, and reasoning deductively, logically unfolds to its legitimate end. Far greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. The subjective mind is the diffused consciousness that animates the world. It is the spirit that giveth life. In all substance is a single soul, subjective mind. Through all creation runs this one unbroken subjective mind. The all is mind. The universe is mental. Thought and feeling fused into beliefs impress modifications upon it, charge it with a mission, and which mission it faithfully executes. The conscious mind originates premises. The subjective mind unfolds them to their logical ends. Where the subjective mind, so were the subjective mind not so limited in its initiative power of reasoning, objective man could not be held responsible for his actions in the world. Man transmits ideas to the subconscious through his feelings. And that's why we say things left an impression upon you. The subconscious transmits ideas from mind to mind through telepathy. Your unexpressed convictions of others are transmitted to them without their conscious knowledge or consent. And if subconsciously accepted by them, will influence their behavior. Yikes! Did that today. The only ideas they subconsciously reject are your ideas of them, which they could not wish to be true of anyone. Whatever they could wish for others can be believed of them. And by the law of belief, which governs subjective reasoning, they are compelled to subjectively accept and therefore objectively express accordingly. The subjective mind is completely controlled by suggestion. Ideas are best suggested when the objective mind is partly subjective. That is, when the objective senses are diminished or held in abeyance. This partly subjective state can best be described as controlled reverie, wherein the mind is passive but capable of functioning with absorption. It is a concentration of attention. There must be no conflict in your mind when you are praying. Turn from what is to what ought to be. Ah, turn from what is to what ought to be. Eric, sorry, I couldn't help myself. Assume the mood of fulfilled desire. And by the universal law of reversibility, you will realize your desire. Ooh, maybe you've had enough of me tonight. So there. We will stop there at chapter 2. We've ended there. But don't get it twisted. Tomorrow night we shall continue with chapter 3, imagination and faith. Chapter 3. Chapter 3, y'all. But you know how we always go back to read highlighted things. Man transmits ideas to the subconscious mind through his feelings. What did Maya Angelou say? Maya Angelou said, people may forget what you say to them, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Why? Because man transmits ideas to the subconscious mind through his feelings, and the thing felt is the thing that left an impression upon you. But you see, the subconscious mind transmits ideas from mind to mind. And that one, remember it. But also remember reversibility, cause and effect, effect and cause. If you have a cause, it brings about an effect, a feeling. But if you don't wait for the thing to bring about the feeling, you just get the feeling and make the feeling happen inside of you and persist in that feeling over and over and over again, you will bring about the cause in its only logical way that it can show up. That's why we call them. Oh my God, how synchronistic. So tonight, as we go into the silence for 5 minutes, what is the process? Oh, but I just love this one paragraph. Within that blankness we call sleep, there is a consciousness in unsleeping vigilance. You know that still small voice in the back of your head, and you hear "go left." You don't hear it so much as you feel it, right? But you go left, and after you've turned left, what do you say? Whew, I'm sure glad I did. That is the unsleeping vigilance. Because if you go right, what happens? You say, ah, shoot, I should have listened. You see, that is the unsleeping vigilance. So right now, the unsleeping vigilance is there. So even if you are asleep and you get woken up in the middle of the night, unsleeping vigilance is the cause, which is what? Your spirit self. Hmm. So the subconscious is what a man is. The subconscious is what a man is. It guides you from beneath the surface. Dr. Bruce Lipton, he says 5% of what we do is conscious. 95% of what we do is unconscious, subconscious. You see? But don't get it twisted, they're only one. Because he says, I and my Father are one. But my Father is greater than I. Because the conceiver is always greater than the conception. Without the conceiver, there is no conception. So without no I, there is no me. Wrap your head around that one there for a minute, eh? So tonight, as we go into the silence, what is it that you want? Hmm? Can you catch that feeling? Catch it and sip on it. Catch it. Catch that feeling over and over and over again. Because that is the effect. And the effect will bring about that thing, which is the cause. So do you know what you want? And see, now here's what I love about the principles. You already know. He gave you many examples of how friction can produce heat, but heat produces friction. Oh, but Angela, that's science. It's material. But the same principle applies psychologically. That's what he's telling you. So you see, you can see all of those things happening right around you every day. Then do you need to believe? Do you need to hope? Or do you need to know? Do you need to believe? Do you need to hope? Or do you need to know? You need to know that if I have the effect, I'll bring about a cause. And if I have the cause, well, I can bring about the effect. It makes you a prophet because now you can predict. Well, you know the cause. You know what the effect will be. And if you have the effect, well, then you know the cause is just right there. So you see, you know, don't you? So when we go into the silence for 5 minutes tonight, what is that thing? Let's not muck about with it anymore. Let's actually start applying it. Instead of using vain repetitions, some of us run around and we listen to affirmations all day long. That's one way of doing it, repetition. But the fastest way is to feel, is it not? Well, you'll always remember how you felt. You'll always remember how you felt. So, step one, identify your desire. Step two, what would it be like if you had it? Oh, remember to hear the voice of that beautiful angelic friend telling you, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Hear them. And you see what it feels like when you can hear them be so excited? Do you hear what it makes you like? Can you sense what it feels like when they are your cheerleader and rooting for you? It makes you feel good, doesn't it? Well, marry the thought and the feeling. The two shall become one. And what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. You see, we think that's talking about dun, 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 dun. No, it's psychological as well. We must use the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. Marry the thought and the feeling together, and you will bring about the experience because the two have become one. And where two or more are gathered, oh. But you see, we scoff at scripture. The law is in the scripture. And if we apply it psychologically, we will change our lives because he says a change of assumption is a change of expression. Let us go into the silence for 5 minutes. Know what you want, feel what it is, and know the principle of cause and effect, reversibility. Use one to bring about the other. 5 minutes of silence. And there concludes our 5 minutes of silence. So remember to practice. Remember to practice and be encouraged to know the principle of cause and effect. Yes? Flo smiles. Isis is here. Miss KZ, Moon, and Dolphin Duck, and Matthias. Uh, Bean. Hello, Bean. Sugar Visions. Wisdom Almighty. Hey, Duck. Cyber. And Brandon. And Cousin. Is it Corey? I think it is, right? And of course, Twitter is as Twitter does. So as we go to bed tonight, fall asleep in that with that thought. Yes? With the fulfillment that it is real. You don't have to pretend. You already know that it is. You already know that it is. So, my beautiful friends. Oh, Cyber, I know, right? I know. I do. Mm. Perhaps it was just a break from all my yakety yakking, but I do love that silence, and I tend to just lay there and be incredibly still, you know? Like it's really quite awesome. So, I'll see you in the morning. But if you want to hang out with us in the morning, you sure can. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, fan base. Ow. Right? 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, I know it is early. But the early bird is the rooster. And perhaps he'll be singing in the morning with you and for you. Oh, I'm so rude. I keep having to remind myself that I am on camera. I got my tea up to my head. Anyway, I love you. And I will. Oh, wait. I'm trying to decide if I want to play the chime or not. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Let's play it for a moment, shall we? The nighttime chime. countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you tonight. Rest well, my beautiful friends, but above all things, practice. Love you.